The last time we checked in with our good friends over at Ubisoft, we seen that Yasuke, everybody's favorite historically accurate Japanese samurai, he was getting a little bit of trouble due to his historically accurate extracurricular activities, specifically at the Itate Hyozu Shrine in Japan. And well, it's interesting, right? Because we've known that Ubisoft's strategy in promoting this game has been, well, quintessentially upsetting the Japanese market, but then also, whenever it suits them, claiming that we have historical accuracy. And yes, accurately depicting a 500-plus-year-old shrine. I guess that's right up there, the high degree of importance, but they care about it so much, they're going to let you go in there and totally destroy the place if that's what you want. Now, I understand wanting immersive gameplay, having, fully destructible environments has been something that, people have been touting all the way back in the, Red Faction days. If you remember that game series, you were probably having a good time back when gaming was, and it was a different kettle of fish, and we could just say that a game was bad due to the fact that it was just, lacking in gameplay and not that it was unfinished buggy mess or written by ideologues. It was a simpler time, right? No. We just can't talk about, games not meshing with you and, not resonating with your certain tastes. We got to talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows and it just being a nightmare on multiple fronts. But yes, last we heard about this was, I think it was Grums. I do believe it was Grums who was reporting that the officials down there at the shrine were not too happy with that released gameplay, and well, they were thinking about doing a couple of things, but now it looks like they've taken some steps. So officials of the Itate Hyozu Shrine, I think I'm getting that mostly right, in Japan, are taking action against Assassin's Creed Shadows after a video circulated online showing a player destroying parts of the interior in the video game. And as reported by Sankei News, representatives of the Itate Hyozu Shrine in the Hyogo Prefecture are taking appropriate action and say that they were not consulted about the shrine's inclusion. Yeah, that's kind of weird, right? Because you had Ubisoft claiming to take multiple trips over to Japan, employing their Japanese studios to do thorough research, but not wanting to go to one of the most relevant shrines that was around during the time you wanted to pick. Interesting. But yes, maybe this is why they didn't ask for permission, because it's easier to ask for forgiveness because the shrine's inclusion shrine's inclusion in the game. If they had contacted us, we would have refused. Sankei News also interviewed an official who debunked the rumor of Japanese associations of Shinto shrines was also getting involved, but its report does confirm previous unsubstantiated rumors that the officials' distaste with the situation. And yeah, this is where, for the rest of this article right here, this is how we're gonna kind of see, and this is a little bit foreshadowing how the gaming press is going to be covering this going forward, because this is a game's radar, right? It's like, I hate the way that they have these big block letters for their title and they don't give you a nice little picture to include everything that's in there. But yeah, it's very much an industry article that we have right here, and the way that they're going to be spinning Shadows in its coverage and the fallout when it does zero to move the needle for Ubisoft and just does little to nothing to forestall their ultimate bankruptcy. This is the way that they're going to try to spin this to, actually, it's a fantastic game and you chuds need to shut up. It's a complex situation. I can sympathize with officials who feel a site that has meaning to them is being desecrated in the name of entertainment, and then somebody calls Sir Mix-a-Lot because there's a big old butt coming through. But much of the wider response appears to selectively forget that Assassin's Creed relationships with organized religion, particularly in Europe, has rarely been particularly kind. Hey guys, did you know that it's alright if Ubisoft just totally craps all over Japan, okay? Because they haven't been historically accurate, or they've done other things, they've done worse things, okay? Are we forgetting that Ezio beat up the Pope himself to a bloody pulp inside the Vatican in Assassin's Creed 2? What about the time Arno killed a target while hidden inside a church confessional in Assassin's Creed Unity? You could raid and loot churches in Valhalla and climb all over mosques in Mirage. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, because outside of Assassin's Creed 2, like, I've played that one. I don't know specifically, are you referencing any historical sites in Mirage or Valhalla or Unity even? I would admit, like, Notre Dame Cathedral is very much in Unity, so maybe that's where that took place, but it really doesn't much matter. Are you destroying those places? And Cesare Borgia, he's very much, like, a villain in Assassin's Creed 2. Like, you get tied up with all of those historical people. So yeah, you go in there and you beat up the main antagonist of the game, and he eventually becomes the Pope because, oh, where is it? I think you travel to you either travel to Rome or the Vatican at the at the end of 2 or at the end of Brotherhood, because how does that trilogy go? Does it go 2 Brotherhood Revelations? I think that's the way that it goes. But yeah, you eventually take a detour because Borgia ends up getting the Apple of Eden, and oh boy, that whole Desmond plotline was just a total tangled mess. But that made sense to the story that was being told. But this is the way that the media is going to spin this. Oh, look at why are you getting so upset about this? They've done other things somewhat like that before in the franchise. You're just racist and you're not playing the game because you hate black people. And it's like, yeah, man, whatever, because okay, when this game eventually does drop, because at this point in time, like, they gotta release it. They gotta release it, okay? It's kind of like how Disney just eventually has to release Snow White, and oh boy, we'll be talking about that. I think I have that slotted in for tomorrow. It's gonna be so much fun. But yeah, Ubisoft, this is the only major release that they have on their calendar for this year. So yeah, March 20th, when this does come out, is going to be interesting to watch. But unlike Star Wars Outlaws, unlike Skull and Bones, unlike X-Defiant, it's not going to be the only game of this type, also featuring the same protagonist dropping on the same day. It's a very unique situation that Ubisoft finds itself in, because on March 20th, there's another Yasuke game popping out, and that right there comes from the legendary studio of historically accurate developers, where you can play Yasuke Simulator. And guys, I think we need to, it's a short little trailer, and I think we better do this, justice, because there's only so much that I can describe on this that I think's really being left out. So,
you shall be my samurai, Yasuke. You will help me unify Japan. Go now to the streets. Fight your way up to Takatenjin Castle, controlled by the Takeda clan.
Foreigner.
There's... Oh, Ed... Oh my god. Oh my god. What the...
Takeda clan.
See guys, it's historically accurate. What are you doing? Don't be mean. Come on. Oh no. Yasuke Simulator. See? You can go do everything that you can wishlist it now. Unfortunately, there's not a price on this one, but it's going to be interesting. It'll be real interesting. Is there a chance that this trolling effort does better than Assassin's Creed Shadows? I don't think so, but it's going to be funny to see. Yasuke Simulator parodies Assassin's Creed Shadows with hilarious over-the-top Ubisoft trolling. I mean, I watched it for the first time, and the moment that you could start firing on people, they had the over-the-top parodies. Oh, that just hit different. Oh, it was so good. Okay, so Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed Shadows just can't catch a break. Immense months of controversy over historical inaccuracies and cultural missteps. Indie developer, historically accurate developers. That's probably the best joke that's in there. Has announced Yasuke Simulator, a parody game set to launch on Steam on March 20th, the exact same day Assassin's Creed Shadows is scheduled to release. If the developer's name is and the coinciding release date weren't enough of a giveaway, Yasuke Simulator is a direct jab at Ubisoft's handling of Shadows and the growing list of complaints surrounding its historical and cultural liberties. Despite its lower poly character models, and I'm also wondering, is there going to be fewer bugs and glitches in Yasuke Simulator than there is in Shadows? Because that was also one of the rumors as to why Shadows got delayed multiple times. It's because, it was kind of in a similar state to how Star Wars Shadows, same outcome obviously, but Star Wars Outlaws launched, which is a historically awful performance that, it got better over time, but you still end up having that base game, which is just trash anyways. No, but the reputation system is fun. Oh, really? They tell you that the Crimson Dawn is the only good faction, Jabba the Hutt's just a total dink, and you can't even do anything in regards to the Empire. Don't worry about that. No, you're a total scoundrel. who's brain dead. But yes, Yasuke Simulator captures the look and feel of Assassin's Creed Shadows closely enough to potentially make Ubisoft's legal team sweat. I don't know why. Like, they're just also doing a historical adaptation. Ubisoft doesn't have the copyright for that period of time in Japan, do they? The lighting, environments, and costumes are all designed to mimic Ubisoft's visuals, just with a satirical twist. So yeah, if they think that this infringes, no, it's just a parody, bro. From the trailer and screenshots, it's clear Yasuke Simulator takes the most outrageous complaints about Shadows and cranks them up to an absurd level. In this parody, Yasuke isn't just wielding swords and traditional weapons. He's able to pick up a modern rifle and even hop into a sports car, causing complete chaos in feudal Japan, a la Grand Theft Auto. The game hilariously ranks players based on how much damage they cause, poking fun at Shadow's controversial decision to let players destroy the sacred shrines and temples. Other tongue-in-cheek elements include dodging massive swinging Daruma dolls and encountering oversized props, highlighting complaints about the architectural inconsistencies seen in Shadows. In one screenshot, fences and torii gates tower over absurdly tower over Yasuke, referencing the backlash over Ubisoft's scale in their initial trailers. Yeah, exactly, because, okay, just going back and taking a look at, some of the screenshots that we have here, that one doesn't look like, okay, the mask looks a little similar to some of the images that we've seen there. That right there, I mean, that's just some good old-fashioned over-the-shoulder third-person FPS, or I'm sorry, the shooter action, not FPS, it's third-person, obviously, but hey, man, you got katana health, so, okay, so you've got weapon damage in it. I mean, like, come on, man, like, this is going to be awesome. Oh, geez, okay, we got the trailer going once again. That's kind of wild. But I mean, guys, it's Shadows is not going to be a good game, okay? Like, even if it's just mid, it's not going to be enough to save Ubisoft. It's got to the point, right, where you thought, okay, potentially, because we've also seen I've seen reports, I can't really substantiate them or anything like that, where this game's pre-sales aren't exactly that spectacular. Okay, so even if this was a mid game, and it was really tough to tell because prior to this installation, like the Assassin's Creed franchise, it was still a mover and shaker, even though it had become the quintessential Ubisoft avatar. People were still playing them and generally satisfied with them. This is just the first one that has reached the normie audience, that has inspired direct parodies like this, that has infuriated foreign governments. This one right here, I mean, it's going to flop, and people are going to be going over the story and the characters with a fine-tooth comb, and I don't think it gets out the other side. It's going to be interesting to see the spin on this, because I'd imagine there's going to be those apologetic articles that are going to pop out saying, it's actually better than what you thought, and yeah, it doesn't matter that it isn't necessarily historically accurate. I mean, now Naoi's pretty cool. The cope is going to be insane, and then once the cope dies down, what ends up happening with Ubisoft in the aftermath, this is going to be a story throughout 2025 for sure. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.